Alright, what up? Let's try and make some bread. Let's try and make some money. I currently, so in the daily outlooks I posted, in the Discord, I was looking to see if we're gonna come up here, take London highs, and then continue to previous daily or previous weekly highs. I took a trade right here on this account, and then I got out of it though. So we're currently up $971 on this account. I'm up $588 on this account. And then we started a new eval and hit profit target. So one thing though about today that I'm going to be watching for is sometimes when we have like a really large move overnight, that there is a potential for us to just kind of like consolidate during the New York AM session a little bit. But I'm just going to keep that in mind and be aware that that's a possibility. So ideally, I would want to see us start going higher to start to target previous weekly highs at like 845. But we'll see. What's silver doing? Isn't that crazy? $110 an ounce. Look at this move overnight. Jeez. This one. That's crazy. I wonder if at the open we're about to rip to all-time high again. That would be nuts. But we're just gonna wait for market open. From Brazil, what up? I need one more day on this account for another payout. So we will see if we could lock that in later today, ideally. What up, Jay Duran? This week should be interesting, though. We got FOMC. I don't think that anything's going to happen with the rates. They're probably just going to stay the same. And then we also have earnings this week. Nice. This trade where like this. What I hope we don't do this morning is I hope we don't go like this. So I'm going to be kind of watching for that. If we are going to do that, I need to be able to figure out that we're doing that pretty quickly so I don't trade it. And if we do start coming down, like let's say we take London highs and we start coming down further, I'll be watching this area. But if we are going to continue up here to previous weekly highs, I probably wouldn't really want to see it get down here. Otherwise, if we are going to bounce in this area and then pop up to previous weekly highs, that's going to take probably like all day. It's not going to be an AM session move. But I hope you guys had a good weekend. Let's try and not lose all of our money this morning. I'm probably going to trade this account a little bit. But if I lose like $500, $600, I'll probably just stop on the day for this account. And I may trade this account. But I need to build a balance up on this account. But I need to lock in a $200 day, so I'll probably risk like $300 if I do trade this account.
You see, stereophonic sound for the home is recorded on two separate tracks, each one giving special emphasis to certain sections of the orchestra, as heard from those positions. Now, when played back simultaneously on two separate systems, the sounds are blended together to achieve a new dimension of sound impossible to obtain in a monaural recording.
Damn, look at silver. That would be insane. The Romanian final boss. What up, bro? That'd be insane if we ripped all-time high right now. We really haven't gotten a decent pullback yet on silver. Gotta wait for it to put in a high. This is an hourly chart, by the way. It's insane. %. So we're just gonna wait for market open. We don't have any news today, except for just a bunch of Trump meetings later during the day, but that'll be after the morning session, so I don't really care for it. The heat map settings, basically this is the DOM, it's the depth of market, and then it has like a heat map right here, but I usually keep it pretty small. If you want your settings to be like this, I do have like for ATAS, I do have like a template you could download for settings to make your chart look like this. Should be in my bio, like the link in my bio. You could probably just click on it and download it. but it's basically just the DOM, and then I have the levels extending out, and then the heat map behind it, and then you have like the bubbles that show you how many buys, how many sells. What up, Choosy? It should be, might be this. Yeah, you gotta add, the DOM trader to your chart. So you would, where's it at? Let me see where it's at. I forget. I set it up once and then I didn't do it again for a long time. So in the bottom right corner, Daniel, you'll see like it says chart trader and then DOM trader. The DOM trader is the one that is the heat map, basically. My POC to be in the middle of the candle, it's just a cluster setting. If you go to cluster settings and then you do bid times ask and then volume profile, it'll show you, and then the maximum level is volume. It'll show it in the middle for both the bid and the ask. If you want, you could make it like bid or ask, but I like it just in the middle of the candle. I used to have it where it was just only showing the bid or the ask, but I don't do that anymore. Yo, Jay Duran, how's your eval doing? Up 700. Nice. So it looks like we're about to take London highs. If we don't take it before market opens here in about a minute and 30 seconds, we're probably going to take it the moment market opens. And then I need to see whether or not we're going to slam back down into this area or if we're going to just basically rip and continue to previous weekly highs. All right, we just took London highs. So we'll see what happens at the open. If we're going to continue higher, or if we're going to slam down, or if we're just going to whiplash right here. Last week I requested a 5K payout. And then tomorrow, if I have a winning day, I'm going to request another one. They'll approve it. I don't see why they wouldn't. But if they don't, I'll tell you. I'll be kind of upset. But it's whatever. I've never really had any issues with Top Step. And I never really see traders getting denied payouts. But I'm sure it probably happens. Alright, so market's opening. We're going to see what it does. My rhythmic data is lagging right now. I got to give it a second. So we took London highs and we're coming down, but we gotta wait to see if this is just gonna basically create a nasty wick to the downside and then pop up, or if we're actually gonna slam back into here. How big is this candle? 200 ticks? I'm gonna go long right here. I'm looking for us to continue to push higher, but I'm gonna risk basically like $500 on this trade right now. I'd like to see us continue towards previous weekly highs, but we had an attempt at sellers to push lower and then the candle flipped back, so I'm hoping that we can get a continuation higher. But I am in profit on the day, so if we end up losing some of those profits, it's okay. I just got to make sure that this account is going to end with at least $200. Yeah, I look at entries on the 5-minute because I feel like it's less noisy than the 1-minute. I used to trade on the 1-minute and I would just get wrecked. So I do trade the 1-minute though when I'm trading like silver, because I need really tight stop losses. But for NQ, I usually do a 5-minute. This is not good, by the way. We're about to get stopped out of this. But sometimes if I'm trailing my stop, like I'll drop down to the 1-minute just to try and like trail a stop pretty tight. I need us to push right here. If we make a new high on this 5-minute candle, I'm actually gonna move my stop loss to break even. Alright, there we go. I'm moving my stop loss to break even. I don't want it to whiplash around, because if we're gonna go, I'm expecting it to just basically go right now. Otherwise, I'll just wait. I'm trading on Project X right now. We're stalling. The buyers are struggling right now to push it higher. But then this chart, by the way, is an ATAS chart. I'm actually going to, on the next pop-up, I'm actually going to take out 5 contracts. Alright, and then we're just going to let the rest of these ride to break even or previous weekly highs. We'll just let it sit here. So no matter what, we'll be up on this account like 1100. I'm usually just looking at like market structure and highs and lows as far as for targets usually. It depends though. I mean, sometimes I'm looking at heat levels, sometimes psychological levels, like if it's a round number. Or I'll be looking at like previous areas where, let's say we're in a long position right now, previous areas where like buyers struggle to push past or large sellers came in. Different things I'll look for when it comes to targets, but ultimately the targets are usually just highs and lows. Nice. Yeah, we can hold it. We'll hold it because it's probably headed to previous weekly highs right now. That's a crazy move we had overnight though. I'm gonna trail my stop right below this 5-minute candle. If this, by the way, if this trade goes up and we catch basically 90 points to the upside, I'm probably just gonna be done for the day. We'll be up like $2,000 on this account, $588 on this account, which is fine. So we'll see. I just don't want it to snap back right now. We're coming into one of my levels from my indicator I coded. So if I just need us to basically break past this, I don't want to see this come up here and then fail to take previous weekly highs, and then later on in the session we go take it. Yeah, honestly, I've been making most of my profits, like, I'm sure you guys probably notice every single time I get on in the morning, I'm up like fucking $500, $600, $900. I'm trading silver during Asia session, and then I'll risk profits. Like this morning, I'm risking profits during NQ AM session. But silver's been really volatile recently, and some great opportunities to trade it. Like, let me go look at it right now, actually. I just don't trade it. Wow, look at that. We're about to go to all-time high again. I usually just don't trade it during New York session. The price action is usually cleaner during Asia. And again, if you're wondering why I took this trade, ultimately the target for today, for me, since in my head we are bullish, the target for today is previous weekly highs. So once we took London highs, right before market open. We had sellers step in and try and push price lower, but we basically snapped back. So my thought process was, well, now all these sellers that try to push lower are all on the wrong side of this trade, and it's probably just gonna fuel the move to the upside. But we'll see if we can get a continuation to the full TP or not. Yeah, maybe I'll stream silver trades. I just like, the thing is though, is like, I know when I stream, there's people who probably take my trades, and trading on NQ is one thing, but it's silver is a different beast. It's like, you can easily blow accounts, or I can take one trade, even if it's like 1 or 2 micros, and I can instantly be down like $500. And then who knows if whoever's watching my stream is gonna like, I'm gonna get taken out of this right now. Anyone who watches my stream is like sizing in super heavy because they don't usually trade silver, and they're only trading it because I'm trading it, and then they think like 5 micros is a chill position size, not realizing that it's like $25 a tick, and then they instantly blow their account. So, but I'll think about it. Maybe. That was pretty good. We almost got stopped out of that. Now we're getting some speed. It is on them, but you know, I don't really want to see you guys lose bread. And especially if it's off of my trade. I'm trailing my stop, by the way. Right below the 5 minute. Small sellers came in again, flipped. So I'm expecting us not to come back here until we hit previous weekly highs. Today may be a shorter stream though, I'm not even gonna lie. Because if we could basically smack 90 points off the open, then what's the point of trading? That was nasty. Alright, we're at 1500 on this account. I want to see what happens now. That was kind of nasty. It literally went right to where my trailing stop was, and then it stopped. It's crazy. Alright, but at this point for NQ, like, it's very obvious we're trying to head right here right now. So we're going to see if it can actually... These sellers came in, but the question now is whether or not there's going to be, like, any follow through and shift towards the downside. So in the meantime, I'm going to go look at what silver's doing. We're almost at a $25,000 balance. It's crazy. But on, let me see, on NQ, what was that? We entered right here. So about like 100, about like 40 points or so. Not bad. That would be crazy though if it literally just hit my trailing stop and then rips higher. But whatever. But if you're, for whatever reason, if you're trying to look for like a sell right now, you should wait. You should definitely wait. Damn, that's crazy. What a trailing stop placement. It was so perfect in the sense that this snapped down and took me out. And now it's going to full TP. But it's alright. It's the difference between 500 bucks. Like, who cares? At this point, I mean, I can only take $5,000 payouts anyway, so what difference really is $500 gonna make? Not a lot. When we take these highs, you're probably gonna see like a snap with a yellow bubble probably right here. We gotta get through all these orders that are sitting here. Yeah, I could just like milk this account. I need to build the balance up on this one, and I gotta pass this account later. Last month, I really just focused on only one account. But it was pretty nice. Just focusing on one account. But I gotta build the funded army back up. But right now, if there's really nothing to, we gotta just wait and see if it's gonna take the highs or not. I would be kind of surprised if it didn't take the highs. Three funded accounts with only $450 drawdown. Well, you know what I do whenever I have like accounts that don't have a lot of drawdown. You could yeah, I mean, if, like what Void said, you could full port it. Or a smarter thing to do is you could pyramid into positions. So what does that mean? Well, it basically is like you start with light size, and then as price is like moving in your direction, whichever direction you decided that you wanted it to go, you slowly add into your position, and you do it in a way where you make sure that your average entry, or where you would be putting a break-even stop loss, is like in a reasonable location. And like last month I had an account that was like had $60 left in drawdown, and I traded silver with 1 micro, and then as price moved, or it was gold with 1 micro, and as price kept moving in my direction, I just kept adding to it, adding to the winner, and then eventually I got it back to $2,500. And then unfortunately I blew that account, but we brought it back from the $60 drawdown. But if I ever have an account that only has like a little bit of drawdown left, that's the goal basically, is just to pyramid into a winning position, add contracts in on a winning position, and make sure that your average entry, because every time you add, your average entry, like let's say you're going long, your average entry is going to go higher, so you got to like keep slamming at break even, and then you got to make sure it's in a reasonable place. At least that's what I would do. Although, by the way, Rami, if you do that, you are gonna have trades hit break even like a lot, so you gotta just keep trying it. But you might end up catching a pretty big move that you kept adding into, and then next thing you know, your account's back in the healthy size. We're kind of stalling here. I would be surprised though if we don't take it. There's probably a ton of people who are targeting previous weekly highs right now. But if you're still in the longs, by the way, and you didn't get stopped out like I did, definitely hold this thing. It's right here. Dude, look at this. Silver. It's about to hit all-time high again. $110 an ounce. It's crazy. Hey Void, yesterday when we were in the chat trading silver, I literally, when we were at like 104, I literally said like, dude, imagine we wake up tomorrow and silver's just at $110 an ounce. Oh my god, look at it rip. By the way, if anyone in here trades silver, do not try and short silver with the mindset of like, oh, we're up way too much, we have to turn around. No, we don't. Just let it pump. Look at this, dude. Dude, you know what's fucked up too is earlier this morning on this account. So this account, last night I made like $300 on it on silver. And then when I started the stream, I was up $900. Well, the reason why I was up $900 is because I actually went long on silver right here. And I put my TP at all-time high, thinking like, let me see how much money I would make. It would have been like 5 grand, and then I was like, nah, that's not gonna happen. So I just went for a 1-to-1. Oh my god, dude. And I made like $600, but whatever. All right, we're so close. We're probably gonna take these orders with well, there's a lot of orders sitting right here on M&Q. 161, 154, 101, 255. But it's just kind of stalling out. Yeah, I'll probably get there at the end of the week. Dude, check this out though. Sheesh. This is like the best I've ever done on a single account. This is crazy. And it's also the first time in a long time that I've literally just focused on only one account. I'm usually focusing on like 4 or 5 at a time. Alright, we just took previous weekly highs. To be honest, that was kind of like the move of the morning of the AM session. Yeah, we may like come down or whatever, and maybe another setup presents itself, but that was kind of like the move that we also talked about pre-market. That's what we were looking for. So that was the easiest, most obvious move of the morning. That's crazy though. Look at this. Almost 500 points, dude. Nuts. And then tomorrow, we're probably gonna have an inside day. I would assume we're gonna have an inside day, meaning like stay somewhere within here, and then FOMC. I just hope we break out of this range, dude. We've been stuck in this range for like 2 months. I want us to take these highs. I've been waiting. But nonetheless, it has been a fun range to trade because it's so large that when we're bouncing from extreme to extreme, the moves are huge. Huge swings. But basically, the way I think about this is this was the mission. Mission is now complete. And if you're green on the day, at this point, I would just stop. if you entered where I entered and you actually ended up holding it and didn't get stopped out on this nasty part, I mean, that was like an easy 90 points. If you caught 90 points, that's more than enough for the day. You can just wait for tomorrow. So, I do have to go do something later this morning. So I'll probably just get off right now. But, decent way to start the week. We, just a recap. We had the idea of trying to target previous weekly highs. We waited to see what the reaction was after taking London highs. Sellers tried to push down, failed, snapped back, entered long, targeted previous weekly highs. We trailed our stop right here, and then sellers came in and literally hit our stop to like a tick. And then ended up hitting the full TP. We're ending the day up 1531 on this funded account. Balance is 24,233 bucks. Tomorrow, if I can get like a $200 day, I'll be at like the 5th day, so then I'll just take a payout for $5,000. Yeah, I have level 2 data. And then this account, we're up 588. It's a brand new account I activated last night and then took a trade on silver. And then we also hit profit target on this account, so we'll try and pass that one later today or tomorrow. We may or may not blow it because I just full port evals. Hopefully we pass it, and then we'll have 3 funded accounts, and then we'll buy another eval. So if you're gonna continue trading today though, be careful. This was like my idea of the move of the morning, and it's done. So there's probably going to be more opportunity today, obviously, but if you cut that trade, why even keep trading at that point? You're just like being greedy. You're just opening up opportunity to give your money back to the market. So I'll catch you guys next time, like 15 minutes before market open tomorrow.